Known by some cultures as the mushroom of immortality, reishi mushroom has been used for thousands of years to increase vitality, support immune function, support cardiovascular health, and promote longevity. But does it live up to its reputation? To find out, we've combed through the history and the science of reishi and put together this video to help you learn everything you need to know about this fascinating mushroom. We're going to talk about what it is, how it grows, how it's used, and of course, what functional benefits it might provide. We're going to go through a lot of information in this video, so I've broken it down into chapters which you can navigate by checking out the description. Also, if you want a full text version of this guide that includes older references plus a lot more information that we couldn't cram into this video, head over to our website. There's a full-on guide that you can read through if you want to dig a lot deeper. So without further ado, let's jump into the video and learn about this fascinating mushroom. So Ganoderma lucidum, commonly known as reishi, is a beautiful specimen among fungi. Also known as the spirit mushroom in China, or the mushroom of immortality in Japan, reishi has long been known for its powerful medicinal properties. In traditional Chinese medicine, reishi is part of a select group of foods and herbs that is considered to be some of the most powerful for improving strength, health, and longevity. The classics of the Materia Medica, written in the Eastern Han Dynasty thousands of years ago, actually references this mushroom, and it's still listed in the state pharmacopoeia of the People's Republic of China as a remedy for several conditions. Ganoderma lucidum isn't the only species of reishi. There's lots of other types of Ganoderma that grow in the wild and are even cultivated. Although Ganoderma lucidum is the main species that's grown for supplemental purposes and the main species that research is being done on, there's more research being done all the time on some of these other species of Ganoderma and starting to reveal some beneficial properties as well. This giant thing that's mounted on the wall behind me in a lot of our videos is actually the fruiting body of a reishi mushroom. Now, they don't typically grow this big in the wild, and they're not typically cultivated this big either. More commonly, they're about this size. Now, this is the size of a reishi mushroom that's grown for the purposes of supplementation. You may notice that it doesn't have the typical cap and stem look of a mushroom. Instead, it forms this big, round, beautiful conch. Reishi mushroom starts off as little tiny finger-like projections, which eventually spread out to form this big, beautiful shape that you see here. Now, reishi is a polypore mushroom, which means it has pores on its underside that disperses its spores instead of gills. And the spores are actually super important, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. You may also notice that reishi has this shiny surface, and it almost looks like it's varnished. Actually, the common name for reishi mushroom is sometimes the varnished conch. But this shiny look is actually natural, and that's where reishi gets its name, Ganoderma lucidum, with gano meaning shiny and derma meaning skin, aka shiny skin. Now, you may have noticed that this one isn't as shiny, it's quite a bit dull, and that's because as the mushroom ages, especially as spores land on the surface and as it dries, of course, it loses some of that shine. Now, when reishi grows in the wild, it grows between May and the autumn. It will grow on dead or decaying logs, and it often grows instead of straight up like this, it will grow kind of more in a shelf type shape where it grows out and not up. And even though reishi does grow in the wild, most reishi that's used for supplementation is actually cultivated, whether it be on natural logs outside in shade houses and greenhouses, or on synthetic logs or fruiting blocks indoors in controlled conditions. So we're here at a reishi mushroom farm deep in the mountains, and the first thing you notice when you walk in here is how hot and humid it is. It just feels perfect for growing reishi mushrooms, and that's because of the shade house above me and the greenhouses where the actual reishi mushrooms are grown. And they're not grown like the typical fruiting blocks. They're actually grown on logs, real logs that are inoculated and colonized and buried underground. And these logs take a long time to colonize. The whole process for growing and fruiting reishi mushrooms is up to 9 months before you'll actually see a reishi mushroom fruiting body. But after a number of months, once the mushroom has fully grown, it can be harvested and prepared in a variety of different ways for supplemental purposes. So you might be wondering, what is the point of growing reishi? What makes it different from the bazillion other mushrooms that are growing in the forest? The magic of the mushroom comes from compounds that are locked inside the cell walls of the mushrooms. These are beta-glucans, triterpenes, and sterols. Beta-glucans or fungal beta-glucans are found in really high levels inside the reishi mushroom fruiting body. They are a type of water-soluble complex carbohydrates called polysaccharides that also function as fermentable fiber, meaning they survive digestion and are broken down by gut microbes in the colon. Beta-glucans have a complex molecular structure. They're all shaped in different ways, which is one of the reasons why different beta-glucans found across the fungal kingdom can have all sorts of different effects on the human body. It's possible that the medicinal potency can actually be directly related to the complexity of these molecules. The other compound is triterpenes, which are not water soluble. They're actually fat soluble and they need to be extracted